The New York Yankees have made a series of calculated moves that suggest a carefully crafted strategy, which is impressive and likely to produce long-term rewards. However, there is an escalating concern among fans regarding a pressing issue affecting the team, which has been addressed by the coach. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's dive into the details. As always, for those who haven't subscribed yet, this platform is devoted to all matters concerning the New York Yankees, and immense gratitude goes out to those who have provided unwavering support. Now, returning to the subject, the New York Yankees have indeed made some shrewd decisions that reveal an insightful strategy, which many have not yet fully acknowledged. This will be explored in depth, as the strategic maneuvers of the Yankees are quite remarkable and appear advantageous for all parties involved. Reports suggest that the Yankees have designated a player for assignment for the second time within just a week. This action was taken to make space for a relief pitcher on the active roster following his return from the injured list. The player was first designated when a closer was reinstated from the paternity list, but he re-signed with the team shortly thereafter and has now been removed from the roster again. The coach conveyed confidence in the player's capabilities, asserting that he still possesses much to contribute and has been on their radar for quite some time. Discussions within the front office over the past weeks have concentrated on him as a potential addition, believing that his performance at the end of spring training reflected his true potential as a player. He participated in spring training with another organization but did not secure a spot on the final roster, and the New York Yankees have brought him in on 2 separate occasions, only to designate him for assignment shortly after each time. This situation does not correlate with his performance. It pertains to broader strategic considerations. Evaluating his statistics for the season illustrates that he has actually performed admirably in the limited appearances he has made, not yielding any runs in the 3 games he pitched, covering 1.2 innings while achieving 3 strikeouts. He has been dependable, and the Yankees hold a favorable view of him. One rationale for the repeated designations is that this strategy allows them to retain his services. The New York Yankees are executing a clever plan deserving of greater acknowledgement. By continuously integrating him, they create a scenario where, when they have a player returning from the injured list whom they wish to keep on the roster, they can designate him for assignment instead of having to use a minor league option on someone else. He seems content with this arrangement, relishing the opportunity to pitch in the New York market, regardless of the team and values being in the Northeast. This permits him to pitch for the Yankees and, when the time arises, accept designation without exhausting his options. He has 3 minor league options at his disposal, which could introduce complexities for the Yankees. Instead, he can simply consent to the designation. When a Yankees pitcher is placed on the injured list, he can return, preserving the options. This strategy is indeed astute, and this decision is commendable for the organization. They should consider keeping him around. There is no reason not to. Furthermore, the team is also welcoming back a dependable player who has consistently proven to be reliable for the squad. What we are witnessing here is an extremely shrewd approach by the team, which deserves to be recognized. The retention of a key player is seen as a smart decision, especially given his positive performance history. The return of a reliable pitcher is quite significant, as he has an even record of wins and losses, along with a solid earned run average and a considerable number of strikeouts. Over the past 2 years, this player has shown remarkable performance, being effective in the innings he pitched. Despite facing some injuries, his overall performance has been satisfactory, indicating that he can still make a meaningful contribution. The team holds an optimistic view of him, and his return for another year reflects this confidence. The familiarity with the group is an advantage, especially at a time when the pitching staff is facing several difficulties. The return of this pitcher is encouraging news, as he will be able to return to the game soon, helping the team through a critical phase. Moreover, there is a clear challenge with a player who has not been meeting expectations in the early games of this season. His last game was full of struggles, although there were some mitigating circumstances, such as questionable decisions during the game. The dissatisfaction with his performance and the perception that the strike zone was unfair are concerns he has expressed. Recently, this player has faced a series of difficulties while trying to adapt, and the team in general, has not been performing well on the mound. Other pitchers have also faced challenges in establishing themselves, resulting in a starting rotation that has not lived up to what was expected before the season started. However, there are positive hopes with the return of a key pitcher, bringing the expectation that the situation may improve. The pressure to avoid walks is a constant concern, and the need to be more aggressive against weaker opponents is something he acknowledges, showing a clear understanding of the challenges he faces. The current situation demands significant adjustments, and even with problematic pitches, it is possible to notice that at certain times he has shown reasonable performance. Rodon clearly understands the challenges he faces and is not indifferent to them. The manager commented that this is a significant new beginning for us. Carlos Rodon had a remarkable performance. Despite the pitch that resulted in a home run, it would have been desirable if the circumstances had been more favorable. However, he shone on the mound at a moment when we needed his performance, which was worthy of praise. The manager continues to support his players, a characteristic that, although sometimes frustrating, is quite logical. He offers constant support to his athletes and is not one to show anger, but tends to encourage them. It is undeniably disheartening to see Carlos Rodon, a pitcher who has stood out in the last 2 seasons, going through struggles. It is known that in his first year, he dealt with injuries and weight fluctuations, but managed to lose the extra pounds and performed admirably in his second year, even though his stats did not reflect the high standard he had. There was optimism that he was on his way to regaining his ideal form. However, after 3 games this season, his earned run average exceeds 5. While I do not disagree with the manager at this moment, I genuinely believe that Rodon was presenting a positive performance. He did not allow any base runners until he gave up 2 walks in a row, which led to the home run. Up until that point, he was really pitching well. I acknowledge that it was only 2 innings, but he still showed considerable effort with 8 strikeouts. There were many positive aspects to his performance. Unfortunately, he struggled with the strike zone, and several pitches should have been considered strikes. It became evident that he lost a bit of focus, and when concentration fades, a poorly executed changeup can easily result in a home run. Part of the responsibility falls on Rodon. He needs to maintain focus and be mentally present, which he himself acknowledged. The real challenge is achieving that focus consistently. However, I am confident that Rodon will find his way back and regain his focus. His journey with the Yankees so far has been disappointing, and we cannot ignore this fact. We cannot say that he is meeting expectations. Rodon would probably recognize this, considering his record of 20 wins and 19 losses, with an earned run average of 4.77. Especially after 2 seasons where his ERA was much lower. Carlos Rodon will have the opportunity to show what he is capable of, even if his performance with the Yankees has been unsatisfactory. This is undeniable. We cannot delude ourselves, as he would recognize that his record is 20 wins and 19 losses, with an ERA of 4.77. In the last 2 years, he posted an ERA of around 2.00, with 279 strikeouts in 49 appearances for the team. It is true that there were positive moments, and an ERA of 3.96 is not bad, but it does not match what the team expected when they signed him. Last year was marked by an ERA of 6.85, a loss period in which he pitched only 64 innings due to injuries. That situation was somewhat different, and we consider that year as a recovery time. However, last season, he should have done better. Now, with an ERA of 5.19 in the first 3 games, there is no reason to panic. These are only 3 games, and the season is long. Rodon tends to perform better in warmer climates, which is positive for the summer, though less favorable for the fall. It is important for him to return to his best, as he had a solid performance at times. However, things are not unfolding as they should, and this may affect his confidence. For a major league pitcher, it is crucial to avoid letting these thoughts affect performance, as it can lead to difficulties. However, I trust that Carlos Rodon will bounce back. I truly believe in that. I do not see this as a critical problem for the team at this moment, as he has already shown good moments. He showed his frustration with a strike call that didn't happen, which led to a walk. He tried to move on quickly, but it is evident that it was on his mind. He would have liked that pitch to have been called a strike, but then he allowed a 3-run home run, which affected him. Presenting himself in this way, it seems that this truly had an impact on his concentration during the game. He was having an excellent outing, but ended up throwing a changeup that didn't work as it should, and these slip-ups happen. This is understandable and perfectly acceptable. Putting it this way didn't have a direct impact on me. The idea kept reverberating in my mind, which suggests that it might have touched you. You delivered an exceptional performance, but a changeup that was high ended up being left. These pitches are normal to happen occasionally, and that is completely understandable. It is natural that, in some situations, the execution might not go as expected. You are human, and perfection in every pitch is unattainable. However, those 2 walks surely made you uncomfortable, and it's hard not to think that they had some impact. That said, it is a circumstance that can be improved, and I believe the New York team will find a way. I'm sure that Carlos Rodon will find his rhythm again. He finished the game with 8 strikeouts, showing his talent. A pitcher who tends to struggle in colder climates managed to perform well, but there was a rough patch with 3 consecutive batters. Such situations can lead to losses. I'm hopeful that Rodon will bounce back. I truly trust his abilities. He has shown his worth to the team consistently. Despite dealing with some adversity since joining the team, it is necessary to stay strong in the face of challenges. Bad luck should not demotivate him. I do not believe it will stop Carlos. After all, he is a high-level pitcher, and that is widely recognized. It is essential that everything works out for Carlos Rodon. I have faith in him, especially considering the importance of this contract. He is in his 3rd year of an agreement that guarantees him $27 million per year, totaling 6 years and $162 million. The time has come for him to show performances that reflect this investment, as so far, this has not happened. What do you think about this? Should we be concerned about Carlos Rodon? On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your level of concern? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. The New York Yankees might be on the verge of adding a serious power boost to their infield, and the name swirling through the Bronx grapevine is none other than Brandon Lowe. Known for his clutch home runs and fearless presence at the plate, Lowe has quietly carved out an impressive resume with the Tampa Bay Rays. But after a 2023 season full of highs and a painful, premature ending due to injury, speculation is mounting that a fresh chapter could begin in pinstripes. Lowe's power numbers speak for themselves. In 2023, despite injury setbacks, the left-handed slugger blasted 21 home runs and notched 68 RBIs in just 109 games. He also etched his name in history by becoming the fastest primary second baseman to reach 100 career homers, a milestone that put him ahead of franchise legends in Tampa Bay. It's that kind of pop the Yankees have been craving at second base, a position that hasn't seen consistent offensive production since the days of Robinson Cano. But beyond the stats, what makes this rumor so intriguing is the fit. The Yankees, often criticized for relying too heavily on right-handed power, could benefit immensely from Lowe's lefty bat in their lineup. His ability to come through in pressure situations, evident from multiple walk-off moments in 2023, makes him an ideal candidate for the intense atmosphere of Yankee Stadium. A trade wouldn't come cheap, but New York's front office has shown willingness to pull the trigger when the right opportunity arises. Of course, questions remain. Will Lowe fully bounce back from the fractured kneecap that ended his 2023 season? Are the Rays truly willing to deal a core piece to a division rival? For now, it's all whispers and speculation. But in baseball, where smoke often leads to fire, the possibility of Brandon Lowe donning Yankee pinstripes is one that fans and analysts alike are watching with keen eyes. One thing's for sure, if Brian Cashman makes this move, the Bronx will be buzzing louder than ever. And with Lowe's flair for dramatic, game-winning moments, Yankee Stadium might just be the perfect new stage for his next act. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.